Welcome to the tutorial on how to use Scratch and Makey Makey together. This particular tutorial will be geared towards a 4th grade classroom where students will be creating a math word problem using Scratch and then having multiple choice answers that they can click on, and then the program Scratch will respond via the Makey Makey. All right, so to begin, step 1, we create a Scratch program. So you'll see I have already logged in and I have a site set up for Scratch. There's many tutorials for that if you need it. If you're familiar already, then what you'd have your students do is create a program. In this case, students would be putting together a little scene and have a word problem incorporated into that scene. There can be a checklist that goes along with it so that they have at least one sprite, at least one background, and that their sprite is saying something. The other thing that needs to happen is on one of the sprites pages, in this case, it is going to be on my fairies page. I'm going to click down here on that sprite. And you will see that I have a block that says when up arrow key pressed, it is going to play the sound magic spell until done. That is going to be my correct answer for the word problem on my Scratch program. Okay, so definitely it is important to have the direction, the control button, the control block that will give a signal so that whoever is solving the word problem will know when they have it correct or not. All right, step 2 is to create your answer choices. So once students have created their word problem, then they obviously have to find at least 3 possible answers to that question. Of course, only one of them is correct. And having them do just on a plain sheet of paper and write down their 3 answer choices, you'll see that each of the answer choices have a tinfoil kind of section, a tinfoil square, and then I also had to bring it kind of closer to the edge because when you use the Makey Makey, the alligator clip has to be touching the foil. And so setting it up in some way like this, tinfoil was the easiest way to kind of incorporate this, but you could obviously use other materials as well, as long as the Makey Makey will respond to it. All right, step 3 is going to be hooking up your Makey Makey. All right, so here's our Makey Makey board. I've already hooked up the USB cord to it. And the next step is to always have your ground wire connected, or your earth. So I'm going to do that right now. All right, and then the other end of that obviously will be what you have to touch. You can put it on a watch or on a bracelet, anything so that it is touching whoever is operating the questions. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I'm going to clip it to my watch right now. All right, so it's on my watch. It's connected to the Makey Makey board. All right, this next part is important. So back to our Scratch program. It says when the up arrow key is pressed, magic spell will play. So the important part here is that I connect the correct answer to the up arrow. That is going to be how they know if they got the answer correct or not. All right, so I'll choose another alligator clip and I'm going to do the correct answer choice first. So I'm going to connect my up arrow to the correct answer, which in this case, I've already done the math, and it is 1,920 feet. And you could already kind of hear the program going, and it was connected. All right, then you obviously don't want it to be obvious that that is the correct answer. So you'll need to connect alligator clips to your other answer choices. And it doesn't really matter where they connect, just make sure it's not connecting to something that is part of the Scratch program. So for instance, on here, part of the directions say that when the space key is pressed, it's going to display more words. So I don't want to hook the alligator clip to the space key on the Makerspace board. Instead, I will hook it up to the other arrow keys because nothing on Scratch is programmed to make the arrows work. All right. All right, so I connected the orange to the right arrow, and my red alligator clip then will connect to the left arrow. All right, that is probably the trickiest part of it, but starting with the answer that is correct first and then adding the other alligator clips is kind of the key to making that process work efficiently. All right, and finally, step 4 is the trial. All right, so now at this point, we obviously want to make sure that it's all working nicely together. And so I am having my students, they need to be able to click on the green button or the green flag to get the program running. So I'm going to click the green button. It's going to play through my scene. All right, and it says press the space bar, and since I didn't hook the space bar up to the Makey board, I'm just going to hit the space bar. All right, and then whoever is working on this would read the word problem, read the little note from the fairy. Remember, there are 4 bases. You will know you're correct when you hear the sound. All right, so then students will use their workbooks to show their work. And then when they have the correct answer, they're going to press on the one they think it is. So if they think it's 480 feet, you'll notice when they're pressing it, nothing is happening. Now, if they think the answer is 1,920 feet, which should be correct, when they hit it, they will hear the sound and they will know it's correct. All right, I hope that was helpful for you in how to combine Scratch and Makey. And best of luck as you work on that.